In just a few days, Phineas and Ferb come back with Season 5, so what better thing to do than go back and rank all the movies and specials. It's just meh. I have no idea why they made this. I don't know if they wanted this to become like some spin-off they have down the line. But it's just meh, and it's like the only meh thing in all of Phineas and Ferb. It's nothing special. It just loses everything that made Phineas and Ferb the show that it is, and just loses all the magic behind that. By making the B-plot weak. What makes Phineas and Ferb work is the B-plot. We got Phineas and Ferb doing their shenanigans, we get Doofenshmirtz doing his shenanigans, and we get Candace doing her stuff. They all just kind of work together and all play off each other, while in this special, we have the main story, and then we have this story about the bugs. And none of them really connect. They don't play off each other. They just happen for the sake of happening. It doesn't work. Song's weak, story is weak, and it's just overall weak. It's watchable, but it's unnecessary. We didn't need this, and I'm glad they didn't build off of it even more. The overall concept and storyline I do like. Doof's plan hitting Carl instead of Professor Monogram. I think that works, and everything that follows Carl's plans I do think works. Part 1 does a good job at hooking you into the story, and then Part 2 finishes all that off. But the ending of Part 2 and just that final fight, I don't really enjoy. All these Alka fights, I never really like them. You're going to see a trend of that for all these other specials. Anything with them, I'm not really a fan of. And since the story is all about them too, it's not really my thing. The overall concept of Carl, Perry, all that works. It is better than the previous thing I mentioned by a little bit, but the second half is not nearly as strong as the first half. It's good, but it could have been a lot better than it actually was. Like the Marvel special, which I will talk about eventually, this has no right to work, but it absolutely does. Was able to write these characters into the Star Wars world while still feeling like Phineas and Ferb. It feels like Star Wars, but also has the same heart and everything that makes Phineas and Ferb, but in the Star Wars universe. But it can be boring. It can feel like this is not working. You're overstaying your welcome right here. Where it feels at most though is that it's not Star Wars, it's Phineas and Ferb. So sometimes when it's supposed to be Star Wars, it feels more like Phineas and Ferb than actually feeling like Star Wars. But it's still enjoyable. I like what they did with this episode of Phineas and Ferb in Star Wars. It just, instead of retelling A New Hope, but with Phineas and Ferb characters, you probably could have done more there. I want to love this more, but sadly, I can't. It just has a lot of problems going for it. But first, I love the idea of Doof inventing time travel. Matches his character arc and development. It all works for his character, and I like that that's where he is in the future. He invents time travel. I love that. I have always loved that. And the overall plot too. It is connected to Miles Murphy, but the overall plot with the plants, sea plants, time travel, all that works, and I like that. And how they utilize some of the Phineas and Ferb characters working here. It's glad to see these characters finally back after about 4 years and fit themselves into the story. They work into the context of the story. But this special is retconning moments in some of the best Phineas and Ferb stuff, like Somewhere Belongs to You. Is retconned in here. Saying that Phineas and Ferb has this positive energy coming off of them, that everything always goes right for them, it kind of ruins that heartfelt moment in Somewhere Belongs to You, because if Phineas is freaking out about not finding anything to make the rocket ship with, and it seems like all hope is lost, but if he has positive energy and everything's going to work out for him, then obviously all hope is not lost, and it kind of ruins that moment. And this is not a Phineas and Ferb show. It's very much Milo Murphy. That's who is the main star, that's his story, it's Milo Murphy. So basically the special has all the problems that the entire show has. So when Phineas and Ferb is just in here, it doesn't capture all the heart from the Phineas and Ferb show. It's taking everything from Milo Murphy. Now, granted, I still enjoy Milo Murphy, but it's not Phineas and Ferb, so it's very much Milo Murphy still. It has all the problems Milo Murphy has, but This is probably the best episode of Milo Murphy. Phineas and Ferb fit the plot of the story, but it can feel like they're all of a sudden just in this story. There probably could have been a better way to transition them into the story, but all of a sudden we get the reveal Doof is timely, and then all of a sudden all these Phineas and Ferb characters just start showing up out of nowhere. It's sudden, but I guess that was that. I enjoyed the special, but sadly, I wanted to love it more because it's Phineas and Ferb back for a crossover, and I love certain ideas in this special, but not all of it works. Even after 6 years since that original show ended, this movie was still able to capture all the magic, all the heart, and everything great about that original show, all in this movie. 6 years later, it still keeps all the same heart, songs, comedy, all from that original show into here, and feels like we never left in the first place. And we just returned to the series like there was nothing in between that was empty. And this movie gives us everything we love about the original show, but in 90 minutes. And it was just great seeing these characters back at that time. Now we get to season 5. Now this movie could have been better. The plot slowly weakens throughout the entire film, and by the end it's kind of like, okay, this could be a lot better. It could be better, but gave us exactly what we wanted from Phineas and Ferb, and it's just nice to see them back on the screen. Like I said, season 5 is just in a few days. Real quick, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1K by the end of the year, consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's get back to the video. Doof is winning. What a way to hook you in. A lot of high stakes stuff are happening. The Earth is being moved to Jupiter. It's getting colder. I like that concept. It's a good concept. And it still has all the same heart that the show has. Candace overcoming her fear of spiders. So that's just something that just happens, and it works really well in the context of this story. Although everything is still high stakes, it's still a fun special. The Alka fight is boring, like I said earlier. I've never liked when that entire gang kind of teamed up. It just never really interested me. But it just feels like a normal Phineas and Ferb episode, but longer. Like the Star Wars one, this has no right to work as well as it does. Marvel is now existing in the Phineas and Ferb world. Where did that come from? I don't know, but it works. Somehow they made it work. But since it's Phineas and Ferb, that's the only way it works. If you did it with any other show, I don't think it would have worked the same way. Because only Phineas and Ferb can do something like that. Only Phineas and Ferb can all of a sudden make Star Wars, Marvel, all work, because that's just the type of show Phineas and Ferb is. Now, for a Marvel concept, they could have done more. I liked what they did overall, but it's Marvel. Marvel has so much stuff happening, they could have done more with it. Now, I might be mistaken, but the Marvel characters in here might be from a show. That could be why they limited some things, but it's Marvel, so you could have done a lot more. And what we got, they still made it work. So it's still fun, it's still Phineas and Ferb, and it all works. This movie takes everything that works really well with the show and brings it into the first ever movie of Phineas and Ferb. Instead of following that classic formula that every single Phineas and Ferb episode has, we now have a higher stakes film. It still feels like the show in every way possible, but this time, it's a movie. We get some great songs with Brand New Best Friend and Summer, Where Do We Begin? But where the movie works really well is with tampering your expectations. Phineas and Ferb, Perry the Platypus. They learn that he's a spy. All of a sudden, that's like, whoa, where did that come from? What a twist, especially if you're watching it for the first time and do not know that's gonna happen. It's a shocking reveal. They do something that you never expect they would do and just showed us that what if concept. That what if they learned Perry the Platypus is Perry the Platypus, and they did that all in this movie. Feels like Phineas and Ferb in every way, and that's why it works. Great Halloween special that checks all the marks it needs to. It has Halloween elements, but also has Phineas and Ferb heart. Stuff that makes Phineas and Ferb, Phineas and Ferb. And I love the zombie apocalypse route that they took. And we see how Phineas and Ferb just try to save the world from that. All these characters just trying to survive this army of Doofenshmirtz everywhere. This is a special that I tend to go to every October season, just because it's so good. I love what they did here, and I'm glad they made this special. A fantastic finale to the show that's able to wrap up character arcs for characters that had them, like Doof and Candace, while still feeling like the original show, but with higher stakes. Small nitpick, but for a finale of an entire show, I feel like you could have done more, because some of these other specials on this entire list had higher stakes than the final episode of the show. It gets a lot of things right, especially with character arcs of Candace and Doof, like I mentioned. It wraps up those characters nicely, and it wraps up the show nicely and in the best way possible. But with that small nitpick of they could have had higher stakes. Yes, time is unraveling. Time is not about to exist anymore. You might be wondering, what could be higher stakes than that? I think the story element of it is good. That's pretty high stakes. But I feel like the show could have done better at showing us the time is about to run out. It's about to end. Stakes are high. It could have done better at doing that because the stakes are high in the show. It's just the story could have done it a bit better. And by the time they actually finish with the time travel shenanigans, the show's over. They could have had more of an F-log there too. But a small nitpick for a fantastic finale to the show. A great Christmas special. This is the best Christmas special in the entire show. We had a few Christmas episodes here and there, but this is the one that actually feels like Christmas and has the heart of Phineas and Ferb. All the characters are the characters they are. Doof is Doof. Candace is Candace. They all match their characters and are all fun in this special, with just a Christmas theme thrown in there. Hits every mark it needs to hit and just serves as a great Christmas special. And I forgot how good it was, and on rewatch for this ranking, I just realized how good of a special it was. And I kind of want to rewatch it every Christmas season now, because it's a really solid Christmas feel-good special. Has the best moments and character moments across the entire show. We see their arcs and development as characters. The characters that don't even have character arcs get character arcs in this special, such as Phineas and Ferb. They learned not everything can go right, as hence the ending of the special, hence Milo Murphy kind of retconning it, but let's just forget about that. Proving although the show is fun, and it's the same formula most of the time, it's a fun show, it can still have heart. It can still have all those great character moments. You love the show for the heart and the characters, and that's what this special proves. It's not all fun, it's that heart that you like. And all the episodes with heart across this entire show are the best episodes in this entire show. Hence, Somewhere Belongs to You. And we get some great songs in here too. But this kind of just represents Phineas and Ferb when it can be at its best. The heart, the fun, the songs, it's all in here. This is Phineas and Ferb. If you like this video, once it's out, maybe my top 10 favorite songs of Phineas and Ferb might interest you, or the review for season 5 down here. With that, thanks for watching.